to a Talk IT tutorial. So what we're going to be doing is the Python game. We're going to be doing lab number 4. So what we did in the previous lab was the main script, just getting things started, getting user input. But now what we need to do is actually start the game, and that's what lab 4 is all about. So going down to that, I'm going to jump straight in with the code here. So I'm opening up main here. What I need to do is import our service layer, import master service layer, the class that we made in lab 2 in fact, and pull this in. So what we do is just add the import at the start. And then what we're going to do is call our service layer to start the game. So I'm going to do that. Once we've validated their input and we know that we want to start the game, we'll make that call. Also add in a variable to hold a peg list, which is going to be the sequence that's generated by the computer, which is the sequence of pegs that we need to guess. So jumping straight in, calling the start function inside the master service layer here. So going to the master service layer, putting that across, just putting in comments just to separate it out a bit easier. So putting that across, remember to indent lines. So format, indent the region. I'm just going to make that a bit bigger, like so. So what does this do? It calls GUI start game, mastermind GUI, draw GUI, and then it'll calculate the peg list. So that secret sequence. So the first thing what we're going to do is actually start inside here in the master service layer .color list. So this is something where we want to generate a string of colors effectively to tell the user what they can guess from. So going into master service layer. Again, I'm just going to put in a little comment just to separate stuff out a bit neater. Okay, dedent that, indent this, like so. So what does it do? The colors available are, creates a variable called names that's empty. It'll get the color list. So this is the list of RBG, so red, blue, green, and then it'll go through that list and it'll look into a dictionary that we'll add a bit later, that pulls the value from that. So R would be red, B would be blue, and then it returns that color string. But obviously we've got another call inside there which is called .getcolorsnumber, so we need to create that. This is just the thing that's going to return that list of colors, so RBG, that's based off the number of pegs that's used. And I'm just adding in the variables for that now. So these are class variables for that. So you'll see that you've got colors, which is the tuple containing the values of RBGY, and then we've got a dictionary here for R, the key being red, which is the value. So that's the service layer done. It's quite simple. So then from GUI import mastermind GUI. So this is done in the service layer because we have the calls there for that. So we need to do that. Saving that. And then I'm going to open up mastermind GUI. This is the class, and then I'm going to add in these functions for it. So start game is pretty basic. All that's going to actually do is print a bit of information. So print the colors available, which is that string that we've just created, and then just give them some instructions and rules on the game, which is always useful for people. Then going back into GUI, adding a draw GUI now. Indent that, like so. What this is going to do is just run through all of that. For iron range 1 to 13 in steps 1, so it goes from 1 to 12. We've got an empty space here. It's going to print the attempt number, that's I. and then your input, so that empty value there times the number of pegs, which could be like 4, let's say, so it'd be 4 empty spaces. This just prints the board effectively that's completely empty because no one's actually made a guess yet. The second part of the code in the service layer for the start game is to calculate the pegs, so we need to do that. So to do that, what we're going to do is import random. So we're going to use someone else's code that they've made for us that's probably going to have been tested, and again, as programmers, we're lazy, and if someone's already done something for us, we should probably use it. Again, just putting in a little comment, putting in calculate pegs here, indenting that. So the same thing again, get the color list. For iron range number of pegs, what we're going to do is add to the list which we created right at the start, the peg list, the secret sequence. We're going to append to that a random choice from that color list. And obviously for iron range number of pegs, so we're going to do that for the number of pegs that there are. So that is lab 4 now hopefully done. So make sure you save everything, save main, and now we should be able to run this, and hopefully there's no issues. Pull that across. Again, this is an interpreted language, so it's not compiled, so you won't necessarily know something's broken until you hit it. So 441, and there you go, it's printed the board. We can't actually do anything still because it's just hitting that infinite loop down here in the while, but that is good. We can see it's working and the functionality's there. So how many colours are available? Red, blue, green, yellow. Please enter in that format. It's brilliant. So everything's working exactly how we wanted it. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. Next lab we're going to do the player versus computer logic. I hope you like it. So yeah.